Folds Wars with Sammy Flaps and Folds.
So this week we're talking about ESG.
And what is
dun,
that?
Dun, dun. That was a
wait. Is there some sort
do
of
we
like...
have one?
That was a very pregnant pause.
I don't think we have a correct...
All right, so Klaus Schwab and the World Economic Forum are pushing for global ESG initiatives. And ESG stands for environmental, social, and governance. So it's a rating system for how a company or a person is committed to a greener future.
Yeah.
We're developing an ability for consumers to measure their own carbon footprint. Where are they traveling? How are they traveling? What are they eating? What are they consuming on the platform? Individual carbon footprint tracker.
Oh,
This
Lord.
is to give you an example of something like this. It's like the stuff going on in Sri Lanka, where they were basically bullied into using this green fertilizer, and then it cut down on all of their ability to grow anything. And now they have scarcity and they have lack of food and riots.
Professors advised against full dependency on organic fertilizer. The farmers also clearly expressed their disapproval. The government went ahead and imposed strict rules and forced it on us. The country is now unstable. Living has become impossible for people. Hunger has become very common. So people have now rejected the government.
And it happened, I think, in the Netherlands. I believe they were protesting there as well for a similar reason. It never gets covered by the mainstream.
Wow.
You won't read about this anywhere unless you go down rabbit holes. Michael Schellenberger is really good on this, actually, this topic, about how these green initiatives just hurt poor people and push people down further into poverty. And it's bullshit from these elites.
Yeah, it's the wealthy people bullying these poor people into...
In countries, yeah.
Yeah. So, for example, for environment, the questions that you would have to figure out what your social score would be: what effect do you have on the environment? What are your carbon emissions like? How much waste are you creating?
These are from the who take their private jets to Davos every year.
Uh-huh.
I love how we rag on Alex Jones and then go immediately into like Alex Jones like rants against the globalists.
Well, and they all have freaking mega yachts too. I mean, they're just, it's such bullshit.
Yeah.
It's a conspiracy. It's an open conspiracy.
Yeah. So then, not only then do you have that environmental factor, then there's the social factor. So it'll be like, how well do you treat your employees? Do you support diversity?
Yeah, this is social credit.
Is your workplace safe?
We
So
know
then
ours
now
isn't.
you've got, but we
It's a
are
safe space for
diverse.
women.
I'll tell you one thing. Our footprint is pretty low. We don't even use AC.
It's a female-run company.
That's right. And we do have one Persian.
Yes.
One
There
sad
go.
you
Persian girl.
Sadpersiangirls.com.
And then governance. Do you make political contributions or influence legislation? Are executives within your organization diverse? So more pushing towards diversity. All ESG is pretty much under Agenda 21, 2030, sustainable development, greener future, which everything where you're like, oh my gosh, that all makes sense. And then
Many unbearable hours later.
when you hop back like a year ago when Project Veritas was doing all of their undercover camera psyop stuff, there's the one interview with the CNN technical director saying, oh, our next agenda that we're going to be pushing and focusing on is just going to be all on global warming.
Focusing mainly on climate, like global warming, and like that's going to be our next it's going to be our focus.
So that's like the next
Pandemic story that will beat to death.
That was always the fear with the pandemic, is that they were test running how they could control the population, and then they'll start using things like climate to be the next way that we see it in California. You can't get a gas stove. They're getting rid of gas stations. They're getting rid of gas cars, gas blowers, anything. It's like none of this stuff is making this ginormous impact on the environment anyways.
Yeah. And now there's a website, esgthereport.com, that you can go to and figure out what your ESG factor score is.
Oh, boy. So go down that rabbit hole. Good luck to you. Have fun. Many of you probably already know it. James Lindsay, who was permanently banned from Twitter, was really on point with this stuff, actually, and really clear about what was going on. Unfortunately, he has been disappeared. Yeah.
It's not a conspiracy theory, guys. Why?
R.I.P.
Because it is blasted everywhere.
It's right in plain sight. This is why we'll own nothing and eat bugs.
That's the brilliance
And
of it,
be
though.
happy.
They say it, they're so blatantly bold about it that people are like, they ignore it.
I won't be eating bugs. Cut to 10 years from now, and they're like, these bugs are delicious. I love these bugs.
Did you have the cricket sashimi? It's really great.
It's so good. I love bugs.
Crickets.